Hello, British Literature 2 students. Welcome to the summer 2016 semester for the fully online British Literature class. Well, I'm actually looking forward to this semester. I think that we're going to have a lot of fun in here. I have chosen 4 novels this time. I teach this class a little bit differently in the summer than I do in the fall and spring. In the fall and spring, we go through and read poetry, and we read essays, and we read short stories, and so on and so forth. But I can't do that 3 times a year. So in the summer, I choose 4 novels. And I think 4 is a good number to get through for the length of the semester. You'll have plenty of time to read each novel, to take the reading quiz, and then to write the essay that you're going to write on that. I also, we'll talk more about what's going on there in a minute. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a second and open up the syllabus for this class so we can follow along together. So what you'll need to do is hit pause, go into the syllabus and schedule folder, open that syllabus up, and then hit play again once you've got it open. So that way we can review it together. And I will take a pause here while you do that really quickly. All right. So I have the syllabus open myself. You didn't have to print it. You can look at it on your screen, but if you printed it, that's just as good. So let's take a look at the top here. So there I am. I'm Mr. Smith. My contact email is enoch.smith@darton.edu. My office number, if you happen to be in the Albany area, is in the F building on campus, the Humanities building, F121-C. It's a little suite of offices where 121 has 121 A, B, C, D. I'm in C. And if you're in the Albany area and you come in during my office hours, you can drop right in and see me if you need extra help with an assignment. Now, you'll see that my office hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 12. The campus is closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I obviously am not going to be in my office when the campus is closed. The doors are locked and the air conditioning is turned off. So not a good thing, not a good situation to be in the summer. But I'm not limiting myself to the Monday through Thursday 9 to 12 hours. If you come in a little earlier or call me a little earlier, I might be in there, say around 8:30 or so. I will usually stay until 2, 3, 4, whatever time I need to stay to get all my work done. So those are my posted hours, 9 to noon. But for the most part, I'm going to be spending more time than that in the office. There will be days when I can't be in the office. And usually I'll let you know that ahead of time. I'll probably send out an email or post it on the message board. I might even say it in the weekly videos. By the way, this video that you're watching right now, there'll be a video somewhat like this every week. The rest of them should be shorter than this one because we're going through the syllabus now. For the most part, the weekly videos for the rest of the semester might be 5 minutes, if that. So don't think, oh gosh, I got to sit through another long video. I'm going to try to keep them as short as I can. But I do think these videos are important, so I will be making them every week. Where was I going with that? I forgot where I was going with that. I got sidelined. So, anyway, let's move on to the next thing then. There's my office phone. You can call me during the office hours. I don't give out my cell and I don't give out my home number to students. However, if it turns out that there's an emergency and you need to reach me, I do check my email quite frequently. And I'll call you from home if I have to. But it better be an emergency. It better be an honest-to-goodness emergency for me to have to call you. All right. Again, I check my email frequently. All right, course description, specific course policies, and course data. You can look at that all on your own. I'm not going to take the time to go through that. The following texts. Like I said, we're going to be doing 4 novels this semester. These are 4 classics, and these are 4 novels that I think that you're going to enjoy. They are Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, and we're going to close it out with Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. So you'll read those, you'll take a little quiz, and you'll write a little paper on them. And we'll talk more about how those papers are going to work in a little bit. Take a note here, and this is very important. I want you to read this note that's below the required text. I have selected these texts specifically because they are inexpensive. They should be available in very inexpensive editions at the Darton bookstore. What I did when I put my order in with the Darton bookstore and with Dorks was I found the cheapest version of each of these books I could find while still getting a reputable publisher. And I ordered those. I think you're going to be able to get all 4 books for probably $20 or $25. You can also go on Amazon. 3 of these books are available at Books A Million. If you're in Albany, or Barnes & Noble, if you're outside of Albany, you can go in there and pick up any one of these books except maybe for the Gaskell book, which you'll probably have to order on Amazon. But you can get them on Amazon for a song. And some of them are accessible free online. And if you really want a print version and can't afford to buy them, you can go to your public library and every single one of these books should be there. I cannot make these books any less expensive than free. There's just no way I can do it. So when you tell me I could not afford to get a copy of this book, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to say, well, what about your library? I'm going to say, what about online? What about whatever? These books were selected because they can be gotten for a song. So don't give me the whole I couldn't afford to buy the books excuse, because I'm not going to listen to it. All right. In fact, I put that in all bold and all caps, as you can see right there. All right, so that's enough about the books. Get whatever edition you want. You will have to give me a works cited entry at the end of every essay that tells me which edition you have. We'll talk more about that at another time. All right, let's go through the policies. This is an asynchronous class. We don't actually have a time where you have to do a video lecture all at the same time. You can sign in as much as you want. I would recommend no fewer than twice a week. You cannot expect to pass this class if you don't sign in, especially if you don't sign in twice a week. If you sign in once every 3 weeks, you're going to fail it, and you're not going to get any sympathy from me when you try to explain why. So expect to fail if you don't sign in. Expect to do well if you sign in at least twice a week. And some students sign in every day, which is fine. I don't mind that a bit. Withdrawals you can read on your own. No-show period does not apply to you if you're watching this video. If you're watching this video, you're not going to be reported as a no-show. Makeup work. Do not fall behind in this class. This is a shortened semester. We are reading 4 novels, not 4 short stories, not 4 poems. We're reading 4 novels. I'm giving you about 2.5 weeks on each of the first 2 and a couple of weeks on each of the next 2. That should be plenty of time for you to read them, understand them, do well on the quizzes, and write a decent paper. So don't fall behind. Now, I do know that life happens. I took a long time to get through college because life happened. I understand that. I know that life doesn't stop whenever you go to school. I know that children still need to be taken care of. I know that your job still expects you to show up for work every day. I know that people get called into jury duty. If you're in the military, you might get called to active duty, whatever. I get that. And I have here in the syllabus acceptable documentation that will actually show what documents you can show me that means that I'll work with you. If life happens, I will work with you. I won't hold you responsible for the fact that you got called into jury duty, or for the fact that you had to take your child to the doctor or something like that. So those are acceptable. But if your excuse is, well, I just didn't do it, or I didn't have enough time, I started imposing late penalties after something's more than a week late. When you turn work in late, what you are doing is creating extra work for your professor, whether it's me or whether it's another class. That's why we impose late penalties, because we don't want to do extra work. I want to grade everybody's essay at the same time. I don't want to grade some late person's essay 2 or 3 weeks late. Now, if you and I have worked out an agreement, that's something totally different. If we've worked out an agreement because life happened, we can work with that. However, if you don't honor that agreement, you still turn something in a couple weeks after that, late penalties do apply. All right. So enough about late work. Grades, pretty standard. Here's the evaluation. There are 4 short essays at 20% each. So that's 80% of your grade. And then 4 reading quizzes. What I did last year was I actually had students write a research paper. I don't see the need for that this semester. It didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped last semester. So I've replaced the research paper with these reading quizzes. Each one's worth 5%. So you add those up, that's 20% total. I think you're going to like that better. What that means is you don't have to do any research this semester for my class at all. If you do some research, you're going to need to cite where you got your sources from. You need to give me citations. and you need to do it in MLA format. And I'm fully aware that MLA has changed its rules as of about last May. Actually, that's this month, isn't it? So as of about this month, I understand that MLA has changed its rules. And the Purdue Owl has said that they won't have the new rules up until June. And they're hoping early June. So I'm aware of that. But do not plagiarize. In fact, I think, is that the next? Okay, that's actually further down. I'll go ahead and talk about plagiarism now. Plagiarism, you've probably heard about this in your English 1101 and 1102 classes. You may have heard about it in other classes. It's a big no-no and something that I take seriously. In fact, I'm actually on the committee that I'm actually one of the people that hears academic honesty cases when a teacher brings up a case against a student. So, don't plagiarize my class. You'll get a 0 on that paper. And if you plagiarize a second time, which is half of the 4 papers, you cannot expect to pass this class, which means you'll get an automatic F for the semester. I know all the tricks. I know where you go to get your plagiarized papers from. I will find them if you cheat. You are much better off getting a C- on a paper you wrote or a D+ on a paper you wrote than you are getting a 0 on a paper that somebody else wrote and that you did not give proper credit to. So, academic honesty, you're not required to do research, so I would just say answer the questions. I'm going to make a specific video which I'm going to post about how to write these papers, and it will be up on the website all semester long. Alright, disruptive student policy you can read on your own. I do see that the link says 2014-15. That's because I could not find the 2015-16 one. But I'm also on the committee that writes up the policy, so I know what it says. Basically what I'm saying is it hasn't changed since 2014-15. And then there's the plagiarism policy. Alright, so that's it. The final page of this syllabus is the schedule. You notice that starting today, the Jane Eyre module is open, and it will run through Monday the 13th. That gives you about 2.5 weeks to get through the novel, take the quiz, and write your paper. Everything you need to know about that should be in the actual module itself. The only thing that might be missing right now is the quiz, because I'm actually rereading Jane Eyre, and I will decide on what quiz questions are there. But everything else you need to know to do well in that module should already be in there, and the quiz should be in there within the next couple of days. So you'll have plenty of time to take the quiz. You'll probably won't finish the novel before I get the quiz up, unless you're a speed reader. So that's it for this semester. I have picked 4 novels that I think you're going to enjoy. I have picked 4 novels that are classics and people will talk about from time to time throughout your lifetime. So make sure that you just have fun with this class. And believe me, if you're willing to put forth the effort, there's no reason why you can't, at the very minimum, pass. And if you put forth a lot of effort, there's no reason why you can't get an A. So that's the way it works. I look forward to seeing your thoughts on these 4 novels and hearing what you have to say about them. And I hope that we have a very fun and productive semester.